Are you preparing for a nursery job interview and feeling nervous about what they might ask? Don't worry, you're not alone and you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to break down the top nursery interview questions and talk about how to answer them effectively so you can head into your interview with confidence. Whether you're brand new to childcare or you've got some experience under your belt, these tips will help you to shine. But before we get into that, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel Open Nursery with myself, Kurt Liania, where I support you to open, run and grow your own childcare business. I've helped to start many nurseries over the years. I started my own nursery back in 2014 and I've spent years running nurseries and recruiting staff. So I've been on the other side of that interview table many times. In this video, I'll be drawing on my own experience to guide you through the common interview questions nursery employers ask and what interviewers are really looking for in your answers, and how you could deliver responses that make you stand out as a passionate, knowledgeable and dependable childcare professional. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what questions to expect, but you'll also have a clear idea of how to tackle each one like a pro. So if you're aiming to land your dream job in childcare, keep watching. This guide will help you to ace that nursery interview. Alright, let's dive into the common questions you'll like to face in your nursery job interview. For each question, I'll explain why your interviews ask it and what they're hoping to hear, and give you some tips on how to answer confidently. Remember, the goal is to show your enthusiasm for working with children, your understanding of early years education, and how well you'd fit into their team. I also share pointers for those new in childcare as well as for experienced candidates. So let's get started. The first question that usually gets asked is, why do you want to work in childcare, or why do you enjoy working with children? This is often one of the first questions you'll be asked. Interviewers use it to gauge your motivation and passion for working with young children. They want to hear genuine enthusiasm and to know that you understand what working in early years involves, that you're not just after any job but truly care about helping children to grow. So how do you answer this? Share what inspired you to pursue childcare. Maybe it was babysitting younger siblings, a positive experience during a college course, or the joy that you felt volunteering at a kids club. For example, I helped look after my little cousins and love seeing how they learn new things each day, which made me want to work with children professionally. Highlight the aspects of the job that you find rewarding, like watching children gain confidence or planning fun activities that help them to learn. If you have past experience, mention a favourite part of those roles. Perhaps you love circle time or arts and craft sessions. If you're new, focus on your personal qualities like patience, creativity and empathy, and experience that show you've made this work. The key is to show a genuine passion for working with children. This will reassure the interviewer that you're in it for the right reasons. Another question is, what qualifications or training do you have for this role? Employers will likely ask about your childcare qualifications to ensure you meet the requirements. For many roles in the UK, like a nursery practitioner, usually a level 2 or level 3 qualification in early years is expected. Even if it's on your CV, they want to hear you talk about your training and see that you're committed to learning and professional development. Here, simply state your relevant qualifications and any certifications that you have. For example, I have a level 3 diploma in early years education, or I'm currently working on my level 2 and plan to continue to level 3. Mention additional training like pediatric first aid or safeguarding courses if you have them. If you're still in training or just starting, emphasize your eagerness to learn. For example, I'll be starting my childcare apprenticeship and I'm very excited to keep developing my skills. The key is to show that you have or are working towards the required qualifications and that you value ongoing professional development, which reassures them that you're serious about a career in childcare. They may also ask you about the Earliest Foundation Stage Framework. The EYFS framework is a curriculum and standards for early childhood education in England, so employers often ask about it. They will want to see at a minimum that you have a basic understanding of this framework that guides how we support children's learning and development from birth to 5. They're not expecting you to be an expert, especially if you're new, but they want to know that you're aware of it and appreciate its importance in nursery's work. Even if you haven't worked with the EYFS before, show that you've done your homework. You could say something like, the EYFS is the framework that sets out the key areas of learning and development for children under 5, and it guides how nursery staff plan activities and track children's progress. If you have experience, mention how you've used the EYFS. For example, we did counting games to support numeracy. If you're new, express your enthusiasm to learn. For example, I studied the basics of the EYFS in my course and I'm excited to apply it in practice and learn more on the job. This shows the interviewer you're aware of the standards and you're committed to following the professional guidelines for early years education. They'll also ask about safeguarding. So they may ask, what is your understanding of safeguarding and what would you do if you have a concern about a child's welfare? Safeguarding is absolutely critical in childcare. The interviewer asks us to make sure you know how to keep children safe and what steps to take if you suspect a child is being harmed or is at risk. They need to hear that you understand your responsibility to protect children. This is one area where a wrong answer can cost you the job, so it's very important. Start by briefly defining safeguarding. Safeguarding means all the steps we take to keep children safe from harm and abuse. Then explain what you'd do if you had a concern. For example, I would follow the nursery's safeguarding policy straight away, document my concerns and report them immediately to the designated safeguarding lead or manager. You understand your limitations and you won't be investigating yourself, and you should pass it on to the appropriate people. You should say how you keep the information confidential and only sharing it with people who need to know. This kind of answer shows you understand the proper procedure. Even if you're new, make it clear you know you have a duty to report and that you would act quickly and correctly to protect the child. You need to understand that you're aware that safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. With this, the interviewer will feel confident you take safeguarding seriously and know how to handle such situations responsibly. Another question is how you would handle a situation where a child is upset or anxious. Interviewers ask this question to see your empathy and calming skills. In a nursery, you'll often need to comfort a child who's been crying or is anxious, maybe a toddler with separation anxiety or a child who got hurt or scared. They want to make sure that you respond with patience and kindness, keeping the child's emotional well-being in mind. So explain the gentle approach that you'll take. For example, first I will stay calm and get down to the child's level, speaking softly and offering a hug or their favorite toy. Then describe how you would soothe them. I'd reassure them that they're safe and maybe distract them with a fun activity or a story once they're a bit calmer. The idea is to show that you'll be nurturing and patient. You can add that you'll keep an eye on the child afterwards and communicate with the team and the parents. So for example, I'll let the key worker know that they were upset and what helped, and also mention it to the parents so we can work together if it happens again. This shows the interviewer you're caring, attentive and proactive about the child's emotional needs. They'll see that you can handle tears and tantrums in a calm, comforting way, which is exactly what they want in a good nursery practitioner. Can you give an example of when you worked as part of a team? Good nurseries run on teamwork, so interviewers want to know you can work well with others. They're looking for signs that you communicate well, support your colleagues and contribute positively to group efforts, because caring for children is very much a team job. So share a short story that highlights your teamwork. It could be from a previous job or even a group project in school. Explain the situation and what you did. For example, at my last nursery, we were organising a holiday party for the children. I teamed up with 2 colleagues to plan it. I took charge of the arts and crafts activities while they organised the games and snacks. We kept each other updated and helped wherever needed. Then share the outcome. The event went smoothly and we got great feedback from parents. It went well because we communicated and worked together. If you don't have work experience, you can use something else. Like in college, I did a group assignment to create a nursery lesson plan. I coordinated our meetings and made sure everyone's ideas were included, and we got a high grade thanks to our teamwork. The key is to show you're cooperative and reliable. How have you handled challenging behaviour from a child, or how would you handle it? Questions about difficult behaviour like tantrums, biting or not listening are very common. Interviewers want to see your approach to discipline and behaviour management. They're looking for a calm, positive approach that aligns with how nurseries handle things, focusing on guidance and consistency rather than punishment. If you have a real example, share it briefly. For example, I once cared for a 3-year-old who would sometimes hit others out of frustration. When it happened, I stayed calm, got down to his level and said gently but firmly to use our kind hands. Then I guided him to express his feelings with words and offered a different activity in order to help him calm down. With patience and positive reminders, his behaviour improved over time. If you don't have a past example, explain what you might do. For example, if a child had a tantrum, I'd make sure everyone was safe, then speak softly and give the child a bit of space to cool down while letting them know that I'm here. Once they have calmed down, I'll talk to them at the level about what happened and why the behaviour is not okay and what we can do instead when we're upset. It's important to mention that you'll follow the nurse's behaviour management policy and keep consistency. For example, I'd work with colleagues and the child's parents so they were all using the same approach. This shows you're patient, understanding and use positive strategies to handle challenging behaviour. Exactly what the interviewer wants to hear. Why do you want to work at our nursery? Or what do you know about our nursery? Interviewers almost always ask a question like this. They want to know that you've done your homework and are genuinely interested in their nursery specifically, not just any job. This is your chance to show you're excited about their setting and that you'll be a great fit for their team and values. Before the interview, research the nursery, look at their website, their values, and any special approach that they use. Then tailor your answer for this. For example, I want to work here because I really admire your focus on creative learning and the warm, friendly atmosphere I noticed when I visited. I know you do a forest school program for outdoor play, which I'm really excited about because I love taking learning outside. Mention something specific you learned or observed as it shows your genuine interest. You could add, I saw great parent reviews about how caring the staff are here. I will be proud to be part of such a dedicated team. And finally, connect it to you. My own teaching philosophy is all about learning through play and exploration, which seems like a perfect fit for your nursery's approach. This kind of answer shows that you put thought into why you chose their nursery and that you're enthusiastic about joining them. It tells the interviewer that you're not just looking for any job, you want to be part of what they do. Those are the key questions that they will ask you. I hope you found these interview questions and answer tips helpful. Remember, the key to success is preparation and being yourself. Show your passion for childcare, be honest about your experiences, and don't be afraid to pause and think about your answers. You've got this. If you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to How to Open a Nursery for more childcare career tips. Good luck with your interview. I'm sure you'll do great, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.